As 2025 draws to a close, Hollywood is taking stock not just of its biggest successes but also of its most surprising disappointments. Among the films that underperformed in a year that saw some major blockbusters and critical hits, two productions stand out: Sydney Sweeney's sports biopic Christy and Disney's fantasy adventure film Ella McCay. Both films carried significant expectations prior to release, yet neither managed to deliver at the box office in the way studios, critics, or audiences anticipated. Christy, a biopic that couldn't box out competition. Christy, starring Sydney Sweeney, is a sports biopic chronicling the life and career of Christy Martin, one of the most famous female boxing champions in history. Martin's rise in a male-dominated sport captured the public's imagination in the 1990s, and her story promised a compelling narrative of grit, perseverance, and triumph against adversity. Casting Sydney Sweeney, a rising star known for her nuanced performances in series like Euphoria and The White Lotus, was seen as a strategic move to draw both critical acclaim and audience attention. Before the film's release, social media buzz suggested a high level of anticipation. Fans celebrated the casting, applauded the potential for a female-led sports drama, and eagerly awaited the story of Martin's groundbreaking achievements. Industry analysts predicted that Christy could appeal to multiple demographics: sports enthusiasts, fans of biopics, and supporters of female-driven narratives. Despite the optimism, Christy grossed just $35 million at the global box office against a $15 million production budget. While the film technically made back its budget, the performance is widely considered underwhelming given the marketing efforts, star power, and cultural significance of the story. Several factors likely contributed to its underperformance, ranging from timing and competition to audience engagement and marketing strategy. Critical and audience reception. The reception of Christy was mixed. While Sydney Sweeney's performance was generally praised, with critics noting her ability to embody Martin's determination and intensity, some reviewers criticized the film's pacing and narrative structure. Sports biopics often succeed when they strike a balance between the personal journey of the protagonist and the action-driven excitement of the sport, and some felt that Christy leaned too heavily on one side, leaving parts of the story feeling incomplete. Audience reactions, particularly on social media platforms, were varied. While some viewers appreciated the historical and emotional elements of the story, others reported feeling disconnected from the boxing sequences or found the character development uneven. In an era where streaming platforms compete with theatrical releases for attention, films like Christy also face the challenge of convincing viewers to pay for a cinema experience when similar content may be available online. Competition and release timing. Timing also played a critical role in Christy's underperformance. Released in a crowded box office landscape, the film faced stiff competition from other high-profile releases. Major franchises, summer blockbusters, and award season hopefuls all competed for audience attention, limiting the available market share for a mid-budget biopic. Moreover, sports films, while historically popular, often require a strong emotional or cultural hook to capture wide audiences. While Christy Martin's story is undeniably inspiring, it may not have resonated as strongly with general audiences unfamiliar with her legacy or less interested in boxing narratives. This illustrates the ongoing challenge for biopics: balancing historical accuracy and compelling storytelling with broad commercial appeal. Marketing and social media hype. Marketing for Christy relied heavily on Sydney Sweeney's rising star power and social media buzz. While this strategy generated attention, it may not have translated into ticket sales as effectively as expected. Social media hype can create early excitement, but converting online interest into box office revenue often requires sustained marketing campaigns, engaging trailers, and strong word-of-mouth momentum. Some critics suggest that the marketing may have misjudged the film's audience. By emphasizing Sweeney's performance and Martin's celebrity within boxing circles, the campaign may have overlooked the need to appeal to a broader audience beyond sports fans or followers of Sweeney's previous work. Consequently, Christy found itself in a precarious position, anticipated by niche audiences but struggling to generate mass appeal. Disney's Ella McCay, fantasy gone flat. The second major box office disappointment of 2025 is Disney's Ella McCay, a fantasy adventure film aimed at family audiences. As one of Disney's high-profile releases of the year, the film carried expectations of strong global performance and cross-generational appeal. Disney, known for its success in animated features, live-action adaptations, and fantasy franchises, invested heavily in the production and marketing of Ella McCay. Despite these advantages, the film underperformed in theaters, grossing significantly less than projections suggested. While precise figures vary, Industry analysts have labeled the film a disappointment relative to Disney's usual standards. The underperformance highlights the increasing difficulty even major studios face in predicting audience tastes and competing for attention in a saturated media landscape. Factors behind Ella McCay's struggles. Several factors may have contributed to the film's underwhelming reception. First, the fantasy-adventure genre has become increasingly competitive, with numerous franchises, sequels, and adaptations vying for the same audience. Ella McCay faced competition not just from other family films but also from streaming releases that offer similar experiences at home, often at a lower cost and with greater convenience. Second, while Disney has a long history of producing visually stunning and narratively engaging films, some critics argued that Ella McCay relied too heavily on formulaic storytelling. The plot, while imaginative, was perceived as predictable in certain areas, and character development was seen as uneven. For a film that required audience investment in a fantastical world, these shortcomings may have hindered its ability to resonate with viewers emotionally. Marketing and audience engagement. Disney's marketing strategy for Ella McCay was robust, including trailers, merchandise tie-ins, and social media campaigns.